Assalamualaikum, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my brothers and my best sisters. I am coming again to the True Love Network. I am your beloved brother that is always talking with you, my beloved brothers and sisters all over the world. I am inviting you to be more intelligent, better, more genius and smarter. What I'm going to talk about in this video is my stepfather. Before he married, after 1 year, the death of my father, he was my friend from Holland. His name was Gerrit Galen from Rogel, southern part of Netherlands, Holland. My brothers and my sisters, my friend married my mother after the death of my father, 1 year, the death of my father. He was not in any belief because he was Christian, but he was not exactly studying. He didn't want to study about the lesson of the Bible. He had gone to many beliefs of people because he was sailor in a very big company that is in Netherlands. And then finally he just believed in the existence of God, but he didn't go to church, he didn't go anywhere. He only did what he wanted to do, help the poor, and then took care of my brothers and sisters because we were still children. My mother had 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls. I'm number 3 in the family. Alhamdulillah, thanks to God. Up to now, 2019, April, all my brothers and sisters are still alive. Even my mother is still alive. But my father had died in 1980, and my friend that was finally be my stepfather married in 1982. He was Christian, and then my mother was Muslim. During their life, everything ran well. I didn't care about their religion. I didn't care about their belief. They married under the government watch and note recording, and they lived harmoniously. They didn't have any problem with the religion. My mother kept praying 5 times. My brothers, my sisters kept praying. And according to the negotiation and agreement that I let my friend, that was my stepfather, marry my mother. At the time my stepfather was 40 and my mother was 44. I let them get married, but the nota bene, they didn't have any children anymore. Yeah, because you can imagine my mother had already got 8 children. It was very hard life, and she lived poorly. I didn't have a job yet. My first brother, second brother even, didn't have any job at all. And after some time, it was in 1996, I joined a special program to study Islam more deeply, more seriously. And then I was just told, I was newly told that my job beside worshipping Allah, praying 5 times, reading Quran, helping the poor, and then going to Mecca, I have side job, actually not side job, but the real job. That is the job done by the Prophet Muhammad. What was the job? Inviting mankind to Allah, to understand who our God is. And then what to do in this earth. Let alone after the death of my friend, Bambang. The story of successful man number 2. He sat and looked at the 2 sisters in the Christian hospital. At the time, as if I was told that, hey Triyono, remember your job is inviting people who don't understand Islam into Islam so that they worship Allah, our God, everyone's God, the one beginning and never ending, and never died, doesn't have any children, and is not begotten. As if he told me like that. Ever since I tried to go home to Malang, East Java, Indonesia, and then I tried to meet my stepfather. At the time he was home, he was already pensioned. He was pensioned after maybe 1 year or 2 years. He began his retirement maybe in 1994 or 1995. Yeah, I didn't really remember. And then I met him. I talked about this story, about the death of my friend. What happened at that time? He was angry, he was mad, and he said that I was very bad boy, very bad son. And then he asked me whether or not are the people who don't embrace, who don't believe in Allah as Muslim people will not go to the heaven. He asked me the question, and I said, indeed, the people who never bear witness La ilaha illallah will never even smell the smelling fragrance of the heaven. Why? Because it's already decision from our God that the key entering the heaven is La ilaha illallah. Minimally, Muhammad Rasulullah. Those 2 sentences will give salvation. My brothers and my sisters, beginning telling him about who our Allah is, and then what to do in this world. He was angry and angry almost every day. And then he began and started to argue with me. He asked me so many questions. Why so many people, Muslim people here in Indonesia, are bad character people? They have bad character. In prisons, most people are Muslim. Burglars, robbers, grafters, cheaters, deceivers, thieves are Muslim people. At the time I asked him whether or not in Holland, thieves, whether or not there were thieves around, or burglars, or robbers, or cheaters. And then he said, of course, okay. I think anywhere in the world, so. My answer was so, anywhere in the world. People can be bad, can be good, depending upon the belief, the faith, whether they have strong faith or they have weak faith. They have right way of life or they have wrong way of life. At the time he started to think, when I said to him, remember that Muslim people, because of the sentence, La ilaha illallah, and worshipping Allah, this belief will make him saved by Allah. One day, after the punishment in the hell, I don't know how long, when a wrong person or a bad person die, and then punished by Allah, I don't know how many years. But again, I want him that Muslim people will be given forgiveness. Allah will forgive him, forgive them, because of the sentences, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Again and again I argued, I discussed, sometimes I quarreled, and then after 18 years beginning in 1982, I told him, I asked him whether or not he wanted to convert to Islam. He said he wouldn't at the time. 2000, in the year of 2000, he was seriously ill. His head cancer, his lung cancer because of cigarettes. One day he used to smoke 4 packages of cigarettes. And then, when he was coma, I prayed special prayer back to Allah to make him conscious. Alhamdulillah, thanks God, he was conscious. And then I asked him what he wanted to eat at the time. What he said in front of my brothers and sisters, I want to eat castle. What? What do you want to eat? Castle. Castle means palace. In a kingdom. What? Castle? Yes. What do you want to eat? We insisted on asking questions. He said, castle. And he looked on the above right. After some time, we questioned again and again. He also answered again and again, castle and castle. I said to my brothers and my sisters, don't ask anymore, because he had already seen the palace of the heaven. Four days later, he was transported to Jakarta, to the Christian hospital, PGI in Cikini, Jakarta. And at the time, he was conscious and asking where he was. And I said, we were in the hospital in Jakarta. And I said also that he was transported by a special plane, chartered plane by his insurance company to go to Jakarta with my mother, my little brothers, my brother that had worked already in Jakarta, and then my uncle there in Jakarta. During the caring from the hospital, I talked again about religion, about Allah, the Prophet, but it seemed to me that he didn't hear anything anymore. He only slept. Sometimes he woke up a moment and then he slept again, and he couldn't eat because, well, yeah, anyway, he couldn't eat. At the time on the at 21:50 more or less PM, he was very seriously in serious condition that he held his back head, and I said to him, "Be patient. Assalamualaikum," and he answered me, "Waalaikumsalam." And then I tried to massage little bit, and then I read Yasin, special letter from the Quran, and then he smiled, and then he died. From the ICU, he was taken out to the room of a dead person, mausoleum or what, the name. And then he was kept in a special place. At 2 o'clock in the morning came the washer. It was a Muslim man, whereas the hospital belonged to Christian people. So the ustad or the Muslim man was invited because my father died in Muslim. "20 hours before the second he died, he recited the names of Allah together with me. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah many times, Muhammad Rasulullah many times. And then he followed me to pray, to tell Allah that he was Muslim and he wanted to be forgiven so far because he didn't worship Allah. White cloth, some cloth around maybe 3 or 4 meters, some folds, and then prepared on the table. And then he asked us who the dead body was, and I said my stepfather. And then he discovered the cloth that covered my stepfather's head, and he was very surprised. "Hey, who's this man?" My stepfather, he was just converting to Islam. He just said La ilaha illallah and many things. Yes, I know. That's why I asked you a question. Before you told me about those sentences, his activity, saying that, I asked you a question. Why? Because this is very good man. He is a very good man. He is sincere man. He is dead sincerely, willingly. Look at him. So the sign, he's sweating on his forehead. He seemed to smile, smiling, and then his body was still warm, although has been how many hours? 4 hours. More or less 4 hours, right? Yes, Ustad is teacher of Muslim people. And then finally we wash together, and I studied how to wash a dead person. After finishing the washing, he asked us a question again. Hey, what is this? I don't know. This is the 10th Muharram in the calendar of Muslim, and that this is the biggest day that Moses died, Adam died, Noah died. This day. This is the day of Ashura. Very big day in Muslim history. Oh yes, Alhamdulillah, I said to Ustad that my stepfather married a widow, poor widow, old widow, with 8 children. And he exactly wanted to help that widow with the children in his marriage. According to our Prophet Muhammad, anybody who loves orphans and widows, woman, he or she will be very close to our Prophet Muhammad later in the heaven. And that's what he did to my mom by my stepfather. My father helped my mom, that was a widow with 8 children, very poor. He married that kind of woman. Why didn't he marry a beautiful lady, virgin, young, teenagers? Because he wanted to get the heaven. He loved orphans. He loved women. He didn't like looking at poor people suffering from the poverty. My brothers and my sisters, the death of my stepfather was the sign that my stepfather followed the instruction, the lesson from our Prophet Muhammad, and our Prophet Muhammad promised and told us again and again in his advices in the book of Hadith that anybody who loves orphans, poor widow, old widows will be close to our Prophet Muhammad in the heaven. May Allah give us that kind of love, feeling, understanding about the lesson of our Prophet Muhammad. So when we are dead, we have finished our ages, we will be back to the heaven, and there Allah, our God, beginning, never ending, never died, and will never die, doesn't have any children, and is not begotten, later after we die. Well, I think that's enough for the story. Successful man number 3. I will tell you another story about successful man that is a true story, reality, happening in my very eyes, as the lesson for us that we are still alive, so that we can better ourselves. We can be more genius, more intellectual, more intelligent, and more genius, looking at this small world. We don't want to worship the world beside Allah. We don't want to worship money beside Allah. We don't want to worship everything in this world beside Allah. Allah is the only one we worship. Allah is the only one we will be back to. Allah is the only one we begged of help. Allah is the only one we cry for, remembering our sin, our mistakes, our many mistakes, because so far we don't know, and we neglect, we ignore, we reject. We don't want to take Allah as our God, whereas Allah is the only one, the one and the only one God of the universe for all mankind and genius. Allah is never dead, had never died, will never die, doesn't have any children, and is not begotten, and nothing and no one compares to him. Nothing is the same or alike Allah. My brothers and my sisters, that's all for now. I'm going to say again, keep tuning on the True Love Network that is inviting, loving truly you to become more intelligent, more genius, smarter, and better. And loving you. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.